This is a how-to video about repairing the rear brakes on an 89 Cressida. This process is very similar, if not identical, for 89 through 92 Cressidas and Supras. I do not cover all the safety processes, so if you're attempting this, I hope you have some prior knowledge. To start, I chalked the wheels and put the car on a jack stand. Then I removed the rear wheel. And here's the brake assembly with the wheel already off. Notice how one lug is at 12 o'clock. That will come in handy later when we're adjusting the parking brake. You may notice that the brake pads have been removed as I started to do some work on this before I started the video. Calipers held on with two 12mm bolts, which are hard to get to with a socket, as there's an interference right here, so a combination wrench might be the best bet. Before you start that, it's good to let off the pressure of the caliper. Of course, I've already done that, so I don't have brake pads, but you can just connect a C-clamp here and squeeze it down just a little bit, which will give you enough play to actually remove things. I should note that it's actually a better idea, if you're going to be releasing the pressure from the brake piston, to open the bleeder valve and crimp off the brake hose. That way it doesn't put back pressure on the master cylinder, which could potentially cause some damage. And just about done at super speed. And then you want to set your caliper somewhere so it's not dangling on the hose. On most vehicles, it's good to support it with a piece of wire or a bungee cord, because there's not such a convenient place to set the caliper. Need a 14mm socket to remove this bracket, and this is what the brake pads should be hanging on in these slots. Again, this top bolt is kind of difficult to get to with the ratchet, but I did manage. These would be stuck on. I had already disassembled it, which makes it look like this is easy, but I had to attack this with a breaker bar and a lot of penetrating oil to get this off originally. Okay, now, since the caliper seems a little sticky, I think there might be some rust on the piston. I'm going to go into the car and pump the brake pedal to push it out. Now, it's very important that you make sure your brake fluid is very full for this, because you may drain it and pump air into the system from the other end. Whenever I'm doing brake work, I really like to disassemble the caliper. You never know what's in there, and in this case there was a lot of junk. It's not always possible to disassemble them this way, but it's really easy if you can. It's always worth a try. This style of brake line needs to be removed with the caliper off. It's just a 17mm head, which is rather difficult to get off with all the rust. Now I'm just squeezing out all of the brake fluid, just using the piston as the pump. This will just prevent a mess later on when I'm not over a bucket. Yeah, that's... glad I took this apart. Now to remove the rubber brake hose from the hard brake line. by just clipping the camera onto the rotor so you can get a good view of what I'm doing and where I'm working. I have the rubber brake hose just tucked up there so it's not siphoning out the fluid from the system, at least as much. Seems like quite a bit dripped out. I saturated this all with a lot of penetrating oil, probably an hour before I started this work. This is a 10mm nut and it's brass, so don't be too aggressive on it. It's also very important to make sure that when the nut starts to turn, the hard line is not moving with it, because if you twist it you can damage the hard line, which would be very bad news. And that's loose. Well, that was time consuming, but I finally got this free. I inspected this hose. It's actually in pretty good condition. All the crust on it isn't corrosion. It's actually just mostly dirt from the road and such. So now to remove this hose, we have to remove this clip underneath the hose. It's hard to see what I'm doing right now, but I've just got a combination wrench underneath that clip, and I'm just trying to walk it out little by little, which slowly got the job done. And I just dropped it in my bucket. Here's the clip. This hose is now free, but the only way to get it out is going up, or removing this fancy clip. So you need to just gently push the stiff hose out of the way, and the hole that it sits on is a hex the same size as the end of this hose, so you have to rotate a little bit to get it out. So I'm just going to clean this up. I'm using this little tool to try to pry this ring up. No, this might not work. I'm not really sure the best way of doing this. No, that worked great. So now I just need to put the C-clip back in place, and it was on the top of these two things. It's actually a truck just drove by. Actually different diameters, so have to put it back the same way. See if I can do this by hand. Oh. There it is. So this connection needs to move freely from the brake line and be able to slide up and down a little bit. So I'm going to just try to twist it by hand, see if that'll loosen things up. That seems to be doing pretty well. You want to clean up as much junk around here as you can, as you don't want that getting into the brake line in the process. It's a little bit more difficult when you're worried about damaging the new one. And damaging the threads on this would be bad as well. So there it is, in place. And that just will thread down. And hopefully I can start it by hand want to be very careful not to cross-thread this, which is easy to do with a wrench. Oh, that is starting. Oh, wow. The other side didn't go as smoothly. Now I'm going to put the retaining clip back in if I can find it. And the clip goes back in the way it came out. Now that's all in place. I just need to bring this up to proper torque. I like to do that very slowly on this. It's a pipe thread. Don't want to accidentally strip it, but it also needs to be very snug. I had to break this up into a few videos. In the next video, I will be rebuilding the caliper. Thanks for watching, and if you want to see more videos about fixing, making, designing, and growing things, please subscribe.